9. That's this experiment will take us to work with the functions mostly. So how we can do the things, uh, how we can do the things of functioning in PLSQL. That is the main way of taking this. So in order to do that, what we are implementing was we will take up a table called as an employee with the numbers, employee number, name, and age. And there was a integrity check. What we need to see that always the age should be greater than 20. So this was the integrity check constraint we are moving, so that you can see here age, it should be always greater than 20, and then salary was some 10, and it should not null is also again, it is one more constraint, and again we are going to have the primary key. So total on the table we are going to have, in database we have 3 constraints at this point of time. So primary key, it is assumed here as an employee number. Next, we make some 4 insert operations: Anil, Ravi, Kiran, and Varma. So thereby, what we are doing here. So so the database table name was employee. Okay. So now we are calling up a function. We are going to call up a function, and this function should work on the table called as an employee. This was the aim, right? Some operation has to be taken place on the database, that too in an approach called as function. So that was why we are doing this. So for that, we are going to say create or replace. These are keywords here, keywords. And salary increment, yeah, it is user defined function name, followed by salary, it is attribute name, followed by number, we call it as data type, right? So all these we are taking up. So we call salary as an attribute name, number it as a data type 9. Salary increment, it is to be a user defined name. So what was the return type? So we have a return type that is increment. So note function has return type. Procedure don't have return type. This was the key takeaway, right? Functions, they have a return types, but procedures, they don't have the return type. So that was the takeaway what we have to emphasize on. So the return type is going to be the increment, and it belongs to the data type called as a number. So increment, and this is attribute name, and number, it is the data type. So return, it is mentioning like this, and return should be always a number. So that is what the function is going to take up. Okay, now let us check the logic. If the person's salary was less than 10,000, give an increment of 10,000. If the person's salary was less than 50,000, give an increment of 20,000. If the person's salary was less than 1 lakh, give an increment of 3,000. Otherwise, whatever it is, you can go with an increment of 4,000. So what we have done, we are now using nested if loop. nested if loop we are promoting. So you can see that if followed by else if. In this way we are taking up. So you make this option if followed by else if followed by else if followed by else, and then you are closing this if with the end if. So whenever I'm taking this if statement, it should be taken up with the end if. It should be taken up with the end if. And internally you should have else if, and then you can have then, that is also an integral part of the syntax. And if all the three conditions are not going to be met, then it should go with this else statement, that is increment was 4000. And finally function should return something. So what is it returning? It is returning the increment. So returning increment, it can be 10. So returning increment, so it can be 10, it can be 50, it can be sorry, it can be 1000, nor it can be 2000, or it can be 3000, or it can be 4000. So that is what we are expecting the answer. So what is the database it is going to have? So database, it is having 1,10,000, so it goes some 4000. It is greater than 50,000, that is 60,000 is the salary. So greater than 50,000 and between this, so he gets a increment of some 3,000. Then this person's salary was 9,000. So when it is 9,000, as per the things, it is less than 1,000, he should get an increment of 1,000. And this person is going to have 30,000 as his salary. So as it is 30,000 salary, it is less than 50,000. Now he is going to get, this person is going to get the salary of 2,000. So that is what the answer, what we are going to expect. So let us see this in the live SQL and check whether the things are appropriate or not. So how can I call the function? How can I call the function? So calling the function, I'm saying that it is salary increment followed by the input data type, right? So salary increment, it is called the function call, and then it is having the actual parameter. It is going to have the actual parameter at that point of time, and then this query, it is going to call the table. Yeah. So let us move to the live SQL part first. And in this live SQL, we will now work with this 9th example. So let us see how to create this table here. So table, it is created with a lot of constraints. 1, it is not null. 2, it is check constraint, and 3, it is a primary key. 3 constraints we have taken up. Yeah, you can see here at the bottom that table was created. Then what we are going to do was, we are bringing 4 insert operations into the employee table here. So yeah, you can move this up and you can verify the 4 insert operations are taken place. After that, we are now calling the function, that is the function body. So function body, yeah, we made this function as salary increment with the input parameter as salary, and return type we are mentioning it as an increment here. So then we call this statements. First one, if salary was less than 1,000, he gets an increment of 10,000. If it is less than 50,000, he gets an increment of 3,000. And this person, if it is not meeting the first 3, then it goes with an else statement. And finally, it is returning the value here. So function should be called. So function should be called. So how is this function called? So that means I'm going to use a SQL query. In this SQL query, select the employee number, salary, and followed by the incremented salary. How do I get the salary increment? Means I am naming the function what we have created, and that we are going to call it from the SQL part. Okay. So before that, what we will do is we will check what are the number of rows in the employee table. So whether all the 4 or 5 rows what we have given is now stored in the database employee or not, then we will start executing the things. So now you can see that there are 4 elements. Okay, if salary was less than 10,000, so for this person Kiran, we expect 1,000 as an increment. If salary was less than 50,000, so for this person we increment 2,000. Less than 1 lakh, yeah, we expect 3,000. And more than that, more than 1 lakh, we expect it is 4,000. Hope this is meeting our need or not. So first of all, we have to check it. So you can hit on the run button to verify for the function body creation. Yeah, you can see function was created. You can see this function was created at this moment. So we made function was created. So this was the answer what we are expecting at this point of time. So function yeah, function was created. Then we are now executing the query part, that is the answer what we are going to expect here. So this was the employee table what we are running this as an output. Now when we execute this, so let's see what happens, right? So when we execute this query, we get this salary increment as whatever we mentioned. It is in others, that is greater than 1 lakh. So he gets his salary as 4,000 as his increment. So that is what when this query is going to execute, and query it is going to have the function call. So salary increment is nothing but the function call. So this is how we got these values. Okay, so now um, we can even directly call it from the procedure. There is another way of calling this also. So instead of putting this in the SQL, this is we made this via SQL call. Now let us see the second word via PL SQL block. So via PLSQL block also we can bring this functions. So how we are bringing this was, you can see at this point of time. So we make declare and the value was number, and we call the function name, that is salary increment, and we put something that is 30,000 into this, and we give this to the value. So value, it is returning the answer. So just check how this is going to execute. So now you can see this process salary, it is 30,000. So that means if it is 30,000, which is less than 5,000, 50,000, so you should get an increment of 2,000. So that's the reason why the statement it is displaying as a 2,000 as the content. And finally, whatever function we called, and that function can be even dropped. So salary increment is the name of a function here. So that function, even it can be dropped, that is taken up with the drop function followed by the name of the function. So this is how we get this working with the functions. Now up to now what we talked was functions are applied to the tables. Functions are applied to the tables, but functions can also be programmed. Even we can do a prime number, Fibonacci number, etc. So how a PLSQL is now logically connected to generate the general programming. So that also we will take it up now. So here is an example of the general functions. here is an example of the general function. So in this general function, what we are going to look up was, we say that create table or create or replace function followed by the name of a function was find sum, and it gets some a and b, and its return type was total here. So a and b, we call them as the formal parameters, and now a and b, they are called as formal parameters, and the return type we are mentioning, it is belong to the data type is number, and it is total. So total is going to be the return. So total, it computes some sum between a and b, and it returns. So this is function returning the value. Function is returning the value. Yeah, you can call it from the call via the SQL query. You can call via the SQL query. So you just make that function sum 10 and 20 from Dual. So directly we are going to call via the SQL. Otherwise, we can create a PLSQL, or we can call via the PLSQL block. So how we are going to call was, you can have value with number and the function call name. So that's 10 and 20 we are passing. So 10 comma 20, now these are called here as a actual parameters. We call them as actual parameters, and finally we are displaying the answer. So any of an approach can be taken up to demonstrate the functions. So let us see how this goes in the live SQL part towards taking up the function execution, etc. So this is what we are expecting at this point of time. So one approach, we are calling it directly via SQL, and second approach, we are calling this via PLSQL. So that is what the funda we need to take up. So function name with two parameters and return type, and doing the logic in the block, and the return type was returned. So you can hit on this button to understand that function was created. After the function was created, we need to have the function call. We need to have the function call. So when we have this function call, so you can say 100 comma 200 from a Dual. So Dual is a one-dimensional table which is also empty. So 200 plus 100, so it is 300 that it is displaying as an answer. So let us move to the work area and paste this for quick reference towards understanding the things. So after the statement, I am putting the result. Second way was, we can dig this towards PLSQL block. So we are moving this to the PLSQL block, and thereby we supply actual parameters 10 and 20, and find sum, it is going to be the function call. So we generate the answer 10 and 20 as a 30. So that is how we do this, is the first approach. Next one, what it is showing was, we are now working on a factorial. So its return type is again fact, and it uses the for loop, and it is supporting the recursion concept, right? It is going to support the recursion concept, because n into n minus 1, it iterates until the condition is going to be satisfied. So you can either directly call the function via the PLSQL statement, or you can directly call from the SQL part. It is up to us how we can navigate to the content. So now you can see this word function. that is with the factorial, and its return type, it is given as fact, and it moves from 1 to n, and the loop executes recursively n into n minus 1, and it meets the condition, that is fact into I, and that's how we got this uh, factorial function. So function was created. So this is what function was created. After function was created, the next thing was, let us see what is the factorial of 6. Let us see what is the factorial of 6. So it is can be taken from the dual table. So you are directly calling the function via the SQL. So that's why you get this answer. So we call this for function 6, that is factorial of 6, it is 720. Now now let us make the same call here, and let us make the same call here, and the same call now we are going to bring it from the PLSQL block. So the PLSQL block, it has declaration part, it has begin part and end part, and we call the function name, that is factorial, and we supply the values, and thereby we get the return type, and that return type, it is assigned to the value. So we get this as an answer. So just hit on the run button, and now you can see the answer. It is storing up. It is storing up at this point. Yeah, that is all regarding the functions. So in this experiment, we talked about the experiment number 9. So in experiment number 9, we approached two models. One model was one model. Yeah. So one model was we taken up this finding of the things to be programmed directly. Second one was we used the predefined table, that is employees. To that employee, we included an increment. To include an increment, we made a check. So what was that check was whether it is can be given an increment of 10 or increment of 20. In that model we analyzed, and after that we gave the increment. So that the same thing we have stored with salary increment as the name. So that is how we conclude this experiment.